Oh my gosh, we're live!
Yay!
Welcome to Prayers Radio. This is show number 16. Show 6. Oh, I'm Reverend Rich. This is Reverend,
Reverend Paul.
and this is Reverend Janet Moore. Is our guest, and we're so blessed to have her. Oh my God, she's the best in the world. So I'm gonna let's just do a quick intro, and then we'll pray. We'll have Reverend Janet pray in, and then we'll go from there. So the quick intro is this is Reverend Janet Moore. She is a Science of Mind minister over at ocspiritualcenter.com. And she spoke Sunday because I can speak for her because I've been to her classes. She's just awesome. She was also Minister of the Year for 2020. So we have some real top quality people coming on here. I mean, this is awesome. What do you think, Paul?
Oh my gosh, she's amazing. She's generationally Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind philosophy.
Well, let's let her talk on that. So,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Janet. Tell our audience who you are.
Okay, so I'm Reverend Janet Moore, and I am a third generation religious science minister. Both my parents were religious science ministers, and both my grandparents were religious science ministers. So I was born and raised in this philosophy, and I appreciate that every day.
Wow.
It blows your mind, doesn't it?
Yeah. We were talking pre-show that that on the philosophy. First of all, this show is only about prayer and religious science and science of mind, not to be confused with other things. Where Ernest Holmes' philosophy, Ernest Holmes, not anybody else that you might think, because the name sort of coincides with other things. But no, that's what we are. The good news is that we actually have this show to have conversations to find out exactly what works. It works for other people, works for yourself, because God works through us and for us. And it's all about prayer. So let's have Reverend Janet, if you don't mind, would you pray us in, please?
Of course, I would be more than happy to. Okay,
Yes.
so this is what I know. I know that the consciousness of God is flowing through, or is expressing, and is as and through each and everyone is here on the show and listening to the show and beyond, because all that there is this presence of God within everything. And so we just connect to that source right here, right now, knowing that it is revealing goodness in this show and in all that there is, because we know God is synonymous with good. And so it is in this knowing that I give great thanks for all the efforts that have been put into this radio show, and for all the creative ideas that have been put into this show, knowing that it is God's creative ideas being revealed through each and every one of us. And so I'm so grateful for these opportunities that God has created for each one of us to express and connect to who we truly are. And so it is in that knowing that we are connected, and knowing that God is the one speaking through each and every one of us, that I give thanks. And it is in that gratitude that I just release this, knowing it is so, and so it is.
So it is.
Powerful as always, Reverend Janet. Well, we like to say hello to our Twitch audience, our Rumble audience, our YouTube audience, our Substack audience, our other audiences that we can't mention because YouTube doesn't like them, but we will leave it at that.
You have a lot of audiences.
We do. We actually reach out to a lot of folks and help a lot of folks. Also with our radio show at prayersradio.com, we help a lot of people there, according to our statistics. We had that show. Go back to show, I think 10, was it, Paul?
Yeah, number 10.
Yeah. So, Reverend Janet, tell us a little bit more about who Reverend Janet is and this philosophy, and how you. We'll go into the prayer questions in just a moment, but I want to give you a chance to plug who you are and what you do.
Well, as I shared, I was born and raised in this philosophy, and it is my love and my passion to be able to share the principles of this philosophy and of prayer with everyone. I've been doing prayer work for over 20 something years. I work at the OC Spiritual Center in
Costa Mesa.
Costa Mesa. And I am the assistant minister. I am also the youth and family minister. And I speak and teach classes. I love teaching classes. And so, and I've taught several practitioner classes, and, just love seeing these minds expand. I love seeing everyone's mind expand and live a greater life, because that's what it's all about. We get to live a greater life when we uh, consciously direct our subconscious.
Wonderful.
Mm.
And again, the classes that she teaches are at ocspiritualcenter.com. I would advise at least checking out the first class that she has, because I believe that's free on most of them, that says,
Yeah.
do you like this class? Does it resonate with you? Because that's where this philosophy blossoms in you. We can read about it, talk about it, write books about it. What do you think, Paul?
Oh yeah, once we embody it, it becomes ours.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So, Paul, go ahead and ask the first question if you'd like.
So, Reverend Janet, what tangible results have you seen from your prayer work?
Well, everything. So just as examples, if well, I'll just speak for me personally. If I've ever needed any certain dollar amount, that exact amount appears, and then I always say to myself, I should have asked for more, because I get the exact amount. So, um, but I mean, that's with everyone. I've had that experience for all of my clients, and uh, just everyone. People in the class share that they needed, $40,000, and it came to them, and 20,000, and all these different things. So it can be money wise, but it can be health. Health. Healings. Even as simple as a pair of shoes or a dress, like it can be revealed to you also, and given to you freely and easily and abundantly. So,
Mm.
and, I remember one time when I first became a minister, I thought, I'd like to do weddings, and I just, without advertising or anything, just everyone was asking me to, do their weddings. So that's how the universe works. The universe gives it to you. We set the intention, and then the universe gives it to you, or
Mm.
reveals it to you.
Mm, I like that. the how did I mean you said that's how I guess that would be how prayer shows up in your life, the wedding thing, the money, as we've said before on previous things, and I think you'll agree with this because your talk said this on Sunday. I'm sort of advertising a little bit for you, that that you have to be specific on that prayer. You don't want to just say, I need $4,800 as an example of the prayer you did. Well, that $48 may come from a place that you may not want it to come from.
So here's what I believe on that. You can be specific, or you can be general,
Mm,
because Ernest Holmes says you can do either way. Either way, it's, the law doesn't care if you're general or specific. So, and I also don't like to be afraid that the law is going to do it in a way that we don't want. So, for instance, what you're talking about is if you want $48,000 and then somebody dies to leave you $48,000, and you didn't want them to die. But the thing is, that's us judging that the law is doing it wrong. And
mm,
I don't ever want to think that God, well, I mean, I believe if we think that God or the law is doing it wrong, we're wrong. I don't
Mm.
mm,
believe that the law and God is wrong. So, and we just have different perceptions of what we believe is right or wrong. That death is divinely, I mean, it's in our divine design to die. So why are we judging it as bad?
mm,
So
Mm.
it's our judgment that is keeping stuff away, and is saying that the law or God could do something wrong. So, and here's the other thing, if you treat and you don't get exactly what you want, but you got a demonstration. Pat yourself on the back. You got a demonstration. So
Mm,
now you can treat again and get an even greater one. Okay. So if we have that idea of uh, be careful what you pray for, first off, that's creating fear, which we
mhm.
should never have any fear. And second off, if you don't get quite what you pray for, you got it, you demonstrated. That's great. Demonstrate again and then demonstrate again, because we know that every thought is a prayer. So,
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. In show 6, he talked about, because I'm a computer scientist and everything, A to B to C to D, it has to be this way. So that's, you know,
and
and,
yeah,
and each of us looks at prayer differently, is what you're saying, and that fear factor. You never want to have that fear, because God's always got you covered, always got you covered, and that's why we have these conversations.
yes. If
Paul,
you're
take.
having fear, then there's something that needs to be healed,
Mm,
because the fear is just showing you a false belief.
awesome, awesome. How, we all start our day off. Morning. Here's my coffee. What do you do in the morning? I mean, do you just wake up and say, God, I'm here. Let's
That's
be
it.
victorious.
I do. I just say, God, I'm here. This day is created for us to enjoy. It's completely here for us to completely enjoy and co-create with God. And I believe it's, our thoughts create our feelings, which then create our experience.
Right?
So, so I believe that, what are you thinking when you first wake up? You know, are you
Oh,
thinking this is a day created for us to enjoy? Are you thinking, oh, all these, I have all these chores and challenges and, things I need to do that I don't want to, you know, whatever that is how you're setting the intention for the day.
I see. I like
So,
it.
so
Uh,
Reverend Janet, when you're setting that attention, what feeling do you have behind that
oh,
activates that law?
That's a good question. So the thing is, you know, I really believe that feelings are our indicator or
Hmm.
barometer of what we're thinking. So so I pay a lot of attention to feeling. And if I'm feeling, let's say, stressed, then I have to look at what is that thought that's creating the stress, because the stress isn't real. The stress is caused from the thought. So then I say, oh, it's because I believe things can't be done in the perfect right timing, let's say. And so then I change that to go, things are always done in the perfect right timing. And then what feeling does that create? So I believe in feeling, but it isn't the power. It is telling you what you're thinking. So we have to look at it and say, oh, is this the feeling that I want? Because I want love and I want peace and I want, serenity and even just a knowing that everything's going to work out, and to live life like Christ, the Christ consciousness, that everything's always working out for our highest and best, even when it doesn't appear to be. And then,
nice.
yeah, yeah. So the feelings are the indicator of what's in your subconscious.
Hmm.
That's all it is. It isn't the power. So then we have to look and say, what's in my subconscious that is creating my life? And
Wow.
then through prayer, we change what's in our subconscious.
That's
That's
deep.
perfect.
Paul, where you at? You disappeared. See, this is
I
the
know.
universe.
Yeah, it's the
Whoa.
new mic, the new mic I got, speaker mic.
Well, turn on your
Yeah, but
camera down at the bottom left.
your
Okay.
video's not on.
Your video's not on.
Okay. Keep talking. I'll figure this out.
You show up, I'll make sure you're there.
Talk
Uh,
amongst your.
all right. How, you know, day prep, if you come up to a challenge in the morning or any time of the day, we all get these, boom, I'm here. And you're like, oh, okay, the kids need, or the husband or wife needs, depending, or the partner needs, depending on your philosophy. Uh, how do you adjust your day for challenges? I mean, we all get triggered somehow and just go, oh, what am I doing?
So how do I adjust to challenges? You
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
it's
we
so
get
amazing.
triggered. Go ahead.
It's so amazing because, you know, if I ever, so for instance, if I have too much scheduled in my day, um, I just affirm it all is going to work out, and it does. So challenges, I truly have worked on them for years and years and years, of course, and everyone has. And so I really believe that challenges are a gift. And
Mm,
so I don't resist them. And I just always am going, this is just to, as I was sharing before the show, this is a setup, it's not a setback. So
Mhm.
uh,
it's a setup for me to live in peace and to know. Here's the thing, it's to know a different truth, or as our philosophy says, to know a new truth or a new idea. And so if we really just see all challenges as gifts, then we get to move through them differently than if we're stressed. And again, that's about really connecting to how you're feeling,
Mhm.
and then saying, why am I feeling this? And then change that.
so you don't just get, a lot, because in our philosophy, if you use a 7 step, and I know you like 5 step versus 7 step, we had
No,
this
I like
before.
both.
Okay. See, I got clarity. But in our philosophy, we put in its place something this or something better a lot of times with the 7 step. Uh, the question I'm asking on this is that, how have your prayers evolved over time is what I'm
Okay.
looking for in this.
Okay. So I think how my prayers have evolved over time is to really, even more so from 20 something, well, 50 years ago, whatever, um, is to really know God in an even greater way and know that I don't even have to figure anything out because God's got it figured out. So I really trust God in everything. So I don't have to stress. I don't have to make sure I'm creating something. Uh, and so it's really about trusting that there's this power in this universe that is good and knows what to do, and we get to use it and direct it, but also knowing that we are not doing the work. It
Mhm.
isn't us doing the work, it is the law that does the work. So once we say the prayer, state it, we get to let it go and then know that it's already done. And I believe that's the, I guess, the biggest step. I don't know if it's this biggest step, but it's the releasing. It's sometimes the hardest.
The realization that, God's got it covered.
Right. Releasing it and
Yeah.
completely knowing. Like not worrying, not, looking, because if we're looking for it, then we haven't
We're
released.
doubting. Right?
But the thing is, I've had one client for over 20 years, every week, and that's her spiritual practice is to get a spiritual mind treatment every week. And so I've really learned from that we have to start each prayer brand new,
Mhm.
as if it's the first one we ever did, and to just let it go, and God or the universal law acts upon it and creates it. It's not our responsibility, it's the law's responsibility. So
That
and she
triggered.
and she has had 20 fantastic years of growth in her company and health and love and everything. So that's her spiritual practice, is having a practitioner every week.
Yeah, that's huge because a lot of the prayer practitioners are available to actually do prayer, but you want to get one that resonates with you. If
Right.
you need a prayer practitioner, and then you get to the point where you can do your own prayers. But as I've said in previous shows, there are times that I myself am like, I can't hold this prayer. I need to call somebody else to help me to deal with this and to hold it, because I'm just
Right.
and that's the human factor. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, the same thing. There's some times where I don't know myself, so I have to reach out to a practitioner who can know it for me so I can know it for myself.
I think that's
Right.
huge.
And I have a prayer call, a prayer partner once a week, and I also have one every day.
Mm.
So,
Oh, that was the next question. How often do you pray during the day?
well, okay. So I was raised as a kid to believe that every thought is a prayer.
Mm.
And so I pray all day. And the thing with that is uh, uh, to really, pay attention to your thoughts. That's all. Not criticize them, not judge them, but pay attention to them and shift them to where you want them to be. But a saying that I did make up was, every thought is a prayer and every moment is a meditation. And so the
Mm.
moments between the thoughts is an act, that pause or space between a thought is a meditation. So if we could live as if every thought were a prayer and every moment is a meditation, then what else is there?
Absolutely. This is
So,
great because you're putting this on the record of, this is Janet stuff, and this is the
right,
best. Yeah,
right.
and we always use the plug for one of our folks is Harville, is we always use this for the keep the intellectual stuff there, even though we did the thing on the dictionary as who wrote the dictionary. But you have brilliant sayings. I mean, whenever I take a class from you, I'm like, I've taken this class before, but oh my God, there's more meat here. What is this? Why is my mind opening up to other things?
Yeah, what
Yeah, and
came
and
through for
and,
me when you
and besides that, I do, like I said, I have a prayer partner every day and a prayer partner every week. So I do lots of
Mm.
Yeah,
lots of prayer.
lots and lots and lots. That's what we do.
I was going to
Go ahead.
run with what you said about the every thought. So what came to me was every thought is a prayer, then every moment is a demonstration.
Oh,
Mm,
but yeah, yeah, every
wow.
moment. And that is true, Paul. Every moment is a demonstration of. I always share, if you want to know what your consciousness is, look around.
That's perfect.
That's that's big. That's like a wake up call.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, you always hear about people. They I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. Well, how are you demonstrating this in your life? Whether it's mentally or physically. We talked about the monk on the mountain in show 6. He's still there, but he's doing what he wants to do, because that's what it's about. You're an individualized
that's right.
expression of God, and God works through you, for you, and then ripples out into the universe of those things that you want. Uh, what works? How do you explain this philosophy to somebody? We have people that show up that I don't even know what these people are talking about. I know about a prayer, but we don't beseech God or anything like that. But how do you explain this philosophy to somebody that doesn't have a clue about this?
So, Ernest, I,
We're
I
here.
kind of have a little lag here.
Oh, that's okay. You're fine. You're fine.
So Ernest Holmes says, it's a philosophy of faith and a way of life. And I like to say it's a way of life based on a philosophy of cause and effect, surrounded in faith of our oneness with God.
Wow, that's perfect.
That is perfect. See, Paul, I told you she was good.
Seriously. So
So
Reverend,
go ahead. Go ahead, Paul.
I was going to ask a question. With everything, with the effect that we see going around in the world, what do you do to maintain your own truth in that?
Good question. So, and very pertinent nowadays is so again, I believe that problems are or challenges, let's say problems or challenges are here to bring about something greater. Okay. And in every problem is the solution. So I always ask, what are you looking at? Are you just looking at the problem, or are you looking at the solution that is in the problem? It's in there. We might not know it, what the solution is, but this the solution is in there. God, for every problem there is a solution. There is.
Mm.
And we will discover that. We will discover that as we discover the solution. But what are you focusing on? That there's this problem that we have no solution for? Or is there this problem that I'm looking or knowing that I know the solution is in there, and I know that it will be discovered and it will bring about goodness? It will. It
Mm.
will. It always has. It always will.
So
Yeah, that
we're at the
reminds.
we're
Go
at the
ahead, Rich.
5 minute mark. So go ahead and ask some questions, and then we'll do some close out. But we want to get those nuggets in right now.
This is rich. I mean, this is perfect.
Yes, it is.
So Ernest Holmes, one of his, all his quotes are famous, but the one in particular said the answer to the prayer is in the prayer once it is prayed, and the answer is identical to the prayer. Have you ever seen otherwise, or does it resonate true for you?
Have I ever seen the answer not being demonstrated? What?
So,
I'm
so
not
like, let's say I go into prayer and I'm praying for a certain thing, knowing it, and then something completely opposite shows up, which eventually is the answer to the prayer.
right. So, I guess that's like, if you pray for a job and then you get fired, or yeah, pray for, yeah, a job, but then, or more money, let's say more money, and then you get fired from your job. But then that leads you to another job, that a greater job or whatever it is. So it appears to not be working, but it really is. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, yes. So I've
So how do
actually
you
had that.
maintain that? Yeah, how do you maintain that faith through during it?
Yeah. If you really know God and know God's goodness and that God is the source, the power, the creativity of this universe, and if you know that everything is one with God, everything. You So Ernest Holmes says our only problems is a belief in separation and duality.
Hmm.
So
Mm.
that causes all of our problems, the belief in separation or duality. So what I try to do is just go back to the oneness and knowing there's no duality, that this is all God. And can you embrace it? That's what I embrace all of it, the challenges, the goodness, and knowing that it is revealing something greater.
Wow, it's
That's
perfect.
perfect. Um, what's your favorite Ernest Holmes book besides The Science of Mind?
So, you ask that for everyone, and besides the Science Mind, well, the Science Mind is my favorite. I've read it many,
I
many
know.
times. But, and then most people, I don't know, all answer it as this thing called You. A lot of people love that book.
Mm.
But if I have to pick a different book with Science Mind, it probably, what is it, The Way to Use the Science Mind, or How to Use the Science Mind by
How to
Ernest
use it,
Holmes?
right?
Yeah, How to Use the Science Mind by Ernest Holmes. But I love reading books from the old teachers like Raymond Charles Barker and Charles Bitzer and,
Phil.
a lot of the old people, Amakerta Hopkins, and.
Mm.
Oh
So,
yeah.
and then
What?
just for me to share, my favorite Ernest Holmes quote is we are not bound by precedents.
Ah, that's perfect.
And I use that constantly. So for instance, if somebody has something that's supposedly uncurable, I get to know that God's not bound by precedents. Nothing is bound by precedents. So that's where we need to know a higher idea.
So we're at the close of the show. What is it that you want to give the audience? What takeaway would you give the audience if they're listening to the show?
I would say no judgment. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge. Um, definitely, to be kind and gentle and easy on yourself, and then practice, practice, practice. That's it.
Practice.
And as we do this, as we practice aligning our thoughts with God, then our life, it becomes easier and easier, even when there's challenges.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow, that's perfect again.
Paul, did you have any last questions? And then I'm going to ask Reverend Janet to pray us out, if you would.
No, I'm good. I'm going to call her on my own just to ask more questions.
Oh, that's the thing there. And Reverend Janet, she speaks at OC Spiritual Center, I think, every fourth Sunday, once a month, yeah. And I would highly suggest checking out her last talk. She's brilliant in my mind, and Paul's watched her also, I believe. And if you haven't, you need to, Paul. But no, we actually got research. Is there anything else that you'd like to plug on or advertise about yourself, Janet? No?
No?
All right. Well.
Hey, Rich, plug your center's
Oh,
website.
I just did the OCSpiritualCenter.com, and then I'mPrayersRadio.com, and check us out. We got all sorts of good stuff. And Paul, where are you at?
I am spiritalive.com.
There we go. All right. If you pray us out, Reverend Janet, please.
Yes, I'll pray us out. Like I said, I keep having this little lag.
That's okay. We don't see it on our end, but I get it.
Okay. All right. So let us just start off in gratitude for this time that we have spent together connecting to these new ideas, these ideas of prayer, these ideas of God, these expanded ideas that we know are just creating an avenue for us to get to know who we are in a greater way, the truth about who we are in a greater way, which then leads to experiencing this life with more abundance, more joy, more peace, more prosperity than ever before. And so it is in knowing this goodness for each and every one of us here, each and every one listening and beyond, knowing all of this and more for everyone, I give thanks. And it is in that gratitude that I just know that as I spoke these words, the law has created it in a magnificent way. So it is in this gratitude that I just release this, knowing it is so. And so it is.
So it is. We are Prayers Radio, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Check us out on our different channels. And if you feel like it, come visit us live at OC Spiritual. Well, visit the OC Spiritual Center live because they have humans there, actual live humans. So thank you. And everybody say goodbye.
Bye.